Good afternoon on what is a mild and now slightly overcast day. It is Friday, December the 31st. I'm back in the reading nook with a nice hot cup of tea. And a pile of parcels to unbox. And the next one I am going to unbox is this one. This is been given to me by my friend Neve, who has kindly let me do an unboxing of it. So, okay, and what we have inside is that. This is the Jonstown Compendium Catalogue 2021 edition. Written by Nick Brook and is available. Essentially, is basically covers all of the content on the Jonstown Compendium up to this date. It's been running for a couple of years, and it certainly has been one of the more popular community content programs on Drive-Thru-RPG. And this brings everything, basically covers everything that's been released to date. So we essentially. Nick Brook's catalogue of every RuneQuest scenario, Gloriantha Sourcebook, and other resources available from Chaosium's Jonstown Compendium Community Content web store on Drive-Thru-RPG in its first 2 years, covering from December 2019 to November 2021. Let's have a look. So this is basically this echoes the Mig's books or Might's Guide by Rick Mites, essentially to content written and published for RuneQuest and Gloriantha, whether in magazine format or actually published, so this kind of collates essentially the indexes that Nick Brook has put together of all of the releases, tracking the contents, how well they have sold, and essentially how well they're rated. We have a colour coding, basically determining what the area where you would fit that content in, so and what it's covering. So vaguely reddish pink would be Lunar Empire, grey miscellaneous, blue Dragon Pass, and you have Dragon Pass basically in the middle, which kind of makes sense. And then we assign, basically there is a symbol assigned the rune colours as well. So you've got air for Dragon Pass, the moon rune for the Lunar Empire, and so on. And then we're getting into, essentially, this is where my index began. Its first release detailed 11 RuneQuest scenarios published in the first 4 months of the Jonstown Compendium. I thought potential purchasers would find it useful to know where scenarios were set, how easy they would be to plug into an existing RuneQuest campaign. Now, that's incredibly useful, because essentially I have been reviewing content from the Jonstown Compendium started. I've also got a scenario up there called Jonathan's Rescue Redux, which will be in this book, I have no doubt. And whenever I've reviewed it, I've said, okay, here's how you use it, here's where you use it, that sort of thing, and covering essentially helping the potential RuneQuest role-playing Gloriantha referee decide where she wants to run the game, run that scenario. So we start off with a couple of details. So we have 6 seasons in Sartar, one of the earliest ones, and probably up front, probably the most successful of all of the releases put out by the Jonstown Compendium. It's set earlier in the timeline than it is current for RuneQuest role-playing Gloriantha, but it's a fantastic campaign. It's very focused, quite narrow in its scope, and it works all the better for it. And essentially, if you're looking for a starting campaign, there's probably none better at this precise moment. So we're covering things like Nick Brook's own the Duel at Dangerford, which is a good sort of like scenario to run if you're running running a general campaign in Sartar. This Tales of Sun County Militia will take you off to Sun County and near Prax, and it's very different. There's four parts of that so far. And then we have the sequel to, excuse me, to the Six Seasons in Sartar. That's covering, essentially, that's only just not long been released. I've got a copy of which I'm currently reading for a review, and it's basically very good sequel to Six Seasons in Sartar. And again, essentially, we can just see one page devoted to each of them, describing them, what they are. And these are very much the upfront sort of like, essentially the bestsellers sort of thing. So really, Six Seasons in Sartar is a best platinum seller. Over 1,000 copies sold. Gives you a value per page, so 14 cents per page. And number of 5-star ratings, it's got 62, and carries on like that. Like the Blue Moon, White Moon scenario by John Wick. That's very good. Nice little encounter there. And all very good scenarios in here. And these are generally something like Fingers Forward is a very sort of utilitarian scenario which you can run and play and slot in anywhere, and so on. We also have Insular of the Waning Moon, which is a location in the Big Rubble outside Prax, and that's sort of like, for the most part, a lot of the content in the Jonstown Compendium has focused on Sartar. Something like Insular of the Waning Moon takes it back east to Prax, which is renowned for basically the supplements, the Big Rubble and the Pavis box set. And then actually, yeah, we have it's again, here we go. Here's my own, basically a bit of promotion. Okay, so Jonstown Rescue, basically, not, and it basically, you've got here element sessions, sort of like number of pages, stats, maps, and so on. Characters default, and this says characters you need. Setting, Sartar, Colombo Lands, Earth or Dark Season of 1625, highly portable, and complexity low, straightforward. Dungeon bash against intelligent opposition with tactics, and it's got feedback, your comments, and so on, which I think is a nice addition. So you've got every entry is like that. And I basically, yeah, I do appreciate people posting basically feedback and so on, and commentating upon this, basically, as we all do for the contents of the Jonstown Compendium, because essentially a lot of it is really high quality, and it's really impressive. So that's essentially, there's quite a lot in there covering that scenario. This is just scenarios up front, so we basically got scenarios. Many of these are sort of basically I've read and reviewed. I mean, basically I've done about 50 reviews of the Jonstown Compendium, but there's a lot more on there which I can read and review at some point. And then we have Sourcebooks. So we'll talk about Rough Guide to Glamour, which is an Any World award-winning supplement. Essentially, it's a guide to the city of glamour, and essentially a big handout for the other books in the series which detail NPCs and plots and motivations for a big LARP. And then enemies and armies of essentially armies and enemies of Dragon Pass. A big source book on the military of the period. Legion does the brew in all of their chaotic glory, vile, disease-ridden, yeah, nasty. Then Dread of the Clear One, we have a really nice description of a neighbourhood in the city of Clearwine, and essentially what's there, and the NPCs and so on. So yeah, there's lots of that. So that includes that's basically Sourcebooks. Then we have Quest Worlds resources. What does this table do? I can't see because it's small writing. We break down of the sales. And we lead up with Value of Plenty, which is a terrific starting campaign for if you're running Quest Worlds. I really hope that the authors get back and publish the next part. They deserve to. It's really good. So lots of content in there for Quest Worlds. And then we have Monsters of the Month, another series. I've reviewed lots of those. And these are smaller releases, so they really, he only writes them short, single paragraphs, more or less, all the way down. And then we have essentially Zenith counters. So this is a series of Dario Corralo's top-down views of distinctly Duranthon creatures and peoples for use as virtual tabletop tokens. Several of the packs include battle maps. His range keeps expanding. So, first one, Tusk Riders. Then we have Duranthon Chaos, Beastmen and Man Beasts, and so on. Dragon Newts. So if you're running a virtual tabletop, these are all really useful. So the Tusk Riders, most obvious use for that is in the scenario defending Apple Lane in the GM's pack. So lots of those, and we have adventure outlines as well. So yeah, there we go. These are very much outlines. They need a lot of development, I found. They're really underwritten and need a bit of work. And then we have everything else. So we have the Arga Atlas, which is free to download. Then we've got listed the maps by Chalice, and so on. Art packs, character sheets, a colouring book, and then there's actually quite useful. There's a handy guide to where these adventures actually take place in the setting. So you can basically plot them onto at the same time as plotting them onto the map of Dragon Pass or wherever. You can plot them onto your campaign and into your campaign and so on. And then it's basically essentially we have a guide to what year is it, what season is it, when Chaosium's scenarios set. That's actually quite useful because it really points out sort of like, okay, when you if you come to it, say, I want to plot this sort of like into the campaign or the meta plot that Chaosium has, which ones can I fit in? And we've got notes for creators and updates and so on, as well as notes. And then we have the content agreement, which comes at the end, which is fine, fair enough. Content guidelines, all useful. Didn't expect to see that in print. We have frequently asked questions as well. So and we've got some sort of graphs at the end. I mean, how useful those are is another matter, but they're interesting to see. So that's the Jonstown Compendium Catalogue. That is how useful that is another matter. Essentially, there's lots of things which are generally useful, and there are lots of articles in there which I think are useful. Certainly, if you are looking to see what's available, if you basically just to purchase, or just to see if you want to write something for it, to see what's already out there. And of course, it has the advice in the back as well. But yeah, I'm quite impressed by that. Nice little book. I will give that a review in due course as soon as I have a copy. So yeah, Jonstown Compendium Catalogue 2021 edition. It'll be interesting to see whether or not there is a 2022 edition. Because, excuse me, as the Jonstown Compendium goes from strength to strength, and the content continues being, well, excellent. Anyway, thanks again for watching another unboxing in the Nook. If you've enjoyed this, please do click the like button down below. And if you've got any comments or feedback, appreciate you posting those. And lastly, if you want to be alerted to yet more unboxings in the Nook, where you'll see me out here with a parcel and a book or game which I will unbox and talk about to the best extent of my knowledge for roughly 10 minutes or so, all of course accompanied by a nice hot cup of tea, then please do hit that subscribe button. Thanks again for watching. I'll be back again soon with another unboxing of the Nook. Bye for now.